You on? Are we or are we not?
Yeah, we're on.
We're on. All right. Welcome to another edition of our Bible class. Today is Thursday, the 18th of July, 2013. Essentially, I'll just talk about, because of the documentary I'm about to show, I'll just talk about briefly about last Sunday's Gospel and this coming Sunday. Last Sunday was the book of Matthew, this coming Sunday is the book of Luke. Essentially, last Sunday was the parable of the Samaritan, the Good Samaritan. And the basic question there is, who is my neighbor? Who is my neighbor? Is it my family? Is it my office mates? Is it my schoolmates? Who is my neighbor? Who are my neighbors? Here's the question. And the answer is very simple. Everybody. Everybody is our neighbor. There's no distinction between school, between work, between family, between any place. Everybody is our neighbor. Is that clear? Now for this coming Sunday, the gospel is about Martha and Mary. Now I have talked about this before, but as I've been doing through the years, whenever I talk about the same gospel, I talk about something else. Now, for the gospel, Jesus entered, of course, the house of Martha and Mary, and you know the rest of the story. Mary welcomed Jesus, and she actually sat by his feet. She actually sat by his feet and very attentively listening to Jesus. Meanwhile, Martha was in the kitchen and busy preparing. Now, this is the first time I'll be telling you this. The parable of Martha, the gospel story about Martha and Mary has some profound lesson for you and for me. And you know what that lesson is? There are two different methods of welcoming Jesus. There are two different ways. Mary had her own way of welcoming Jesus. Martha had her own different way of welcoming Jesus. Of course, you know the story. As Martha was busy in the kitchen, she had a chance to talk to Jesus and say, "Can you ask my sister to help me in the kitchen? Because there's too much work in the kitchen." And then what did the Lord say? "Oh, Mary has chosen the better role." So in other words, what Jesus is saying, you can't bother Mary. Mary is here listening to what I'm saying, and meanwhile you're so busy in the kitchen, just continue what you're doing in the kitchen. Now the moral lesson here for you and for me is this. Each of us have different ways of welcoming Jesus. And the best, and by far, and according to Jesus' words himself, the best way to welcome Jesus is to give him and devote to Jesus our undivided time and attention, which is what Mary did. Now, of course, Martha had her own way of welcoming Jesus, which is also a good thing. But Jesus, there's no mention of Jesus ever asking for food. What about you? What about me? When someone is expected to come to our house, what do? We clean the house.
We cook.
And we cook. We prepare all those food for the person. Even if the person didn't say, "I probably will eat," it's like understood, right? So we have adopted Martha's style of welcoming the guest. But Jesus has already said, the better way to welcome Jesus is what? Undivided time and attention for Jesus. It's not the food, it's not preparing, cleaning, no. None of those. The best way to welcome Jesus is accord him our undivided attention and time. That is the core of the message of this coming Sunday's Gospel. If you want more information, the materials have been emailed to you last Tuesday. you read through the materials on a daily basis, but I've given you the basic message of this coming Sunday's Gospel plus last Sunday's. Any question?